480 BC, a Spartan mother handed her son his shield and spoke words that would echo through history. Return with it, or on it. Nearly 2,000 years later, and 6,000 miles away, a Japanese warrior knelt before his lord, drew a blade across his own abdomen, and did not make a sound. Two civilizations, two warrior codes, both built on the same terrifying premise. A soldier who fears death cannot be trusted in battle, but history has never truly settled which discipline demanded more. And the answer uncovered by historians is far more unsettling than either legend suggests. This is the story of Sparta and the samurai, two of the most disciplined warrior societies ever recorded, and the surprising truth about which one actually asked more of the men who lived and died by it. Spartan discipline began before a child could even walk. Spartan law required that every newborn be presented to a council of elders for physical inspection. Infants judged too weak or deformed to eventually become soldiers were, according to ancient sources, left exposed on a hillside called Apothetai to die. Those who passed inspection entered the agoge at age 7, a brutal state-run training system that stripped boys from their families and subjected them to systematic hunger, cold, and physical punishment, all designed to produce soldiers who felt no fear and expected no mercy. Spartan mothers reportedly told sons marching to battle to return carrying their shield or being carried upon it. There was no acceptable third option. Samurai discipline followed an entirely different philosophy, one built not on the body's endurance but on the mind's absolute clarity. Bushido, the way of the warrior, demanded loyalty to one's lord above personal survival, but it wrapped that demand inside layers of etiquette, aesthetic discipline, and moral reasoning that Sparta never developed. A samurai was expected to master calligraphy, poetry, and tea ceremony alongside swordsmanship, cultivating refinement as thoroughly as violence. Where Sparta broke the body to forge obedience, Bushido trained the mind to accept death so completely that fear itself became irrelevant. If you think you know which code was harsher, follow along, because the answer is more complicated than either side would want to admit. And if you want more warrior history like this, make sure you're following the page and subscribed. Here's where the comparison reveals something neither culture advertised openly. Sparta's harshness was almost entirely physical and immediate. Hunger, cold, beatings, exposure. A system that could kill a weak child before he ever understood what was happening to him. But Spartan society offered something in return for this brutality. A citizen who survived the agoge was guaranteed land, status, and a permanent place among the ruling class of equals, called the homoioi. The suffering had a floor beneath it, a promised reward waiting on the other side. Bushido offered no such guarantee. A samurai's obligation to his lord had no natural endpoint and no protective floor. If his lord ordered him to commit seppuku, ritual disembowelment, as an act of loyalty, apology, or protest, a samurai was expected to comply without hesitation, calmly, methodically, following a precise ceremonial procedure while fully conscious of what was happening to his own body. Sparta's harshness ended once a boy survived to adulthood. A samurai's harshness could demand his life at any moment, for any reason his lord deemed sufficient, for his entire life. The twist that changes how we should view this comparison entirely is this. Sparta's system, for all its brutality, was ultimately about producing a soldier who survived and then belonged. Bushido's system was about producing a soldier who had already, psychologically, let go of survival altogether for his entire adult life, not merely during childhood training. A Spartan hoplite fought fiercely because losing meant losing everything he had earned. A samurai fought calmly because he had already accepted he had nothing left to lose in the first place. The lesson embedded in this comparison is one about what discipline actually costs a human being. Sparta demanded your childhood and offered you a life in return. Bushido demanded your entire life and offered you only the honor of how you ended it. Two warrior codes, separated by continents and centuries, both concluded that greatness requires surrendering something essential. But they could not have disagreed more completely about what that something should be and what, if anything, a warrior deserved to get back. Make sure you're following the page, subscribed, and sharing this with someone who needs to know that the world's fiercest warriors were shaped as much by what they were promised as by what they were forced to endure.